Hello and welcome to Bring Sales. Today I'll be looking at the LEGO Movie 2 Apocalypseburg 70840. Please stay up to date on all the latest LEGO news by subscribing to my channel Bring Sales. It'll help me out a ton and it'll get my channel up there in the YouTube algorithm. Speaking of the actual set, I love the overall look and feel of every little element which complements the overall structure. These are basically all of the major landmarks and buildings of Bricksburg smashed into one, hence its name Apocalypseburg. It reminds me a lot of the LEGO architecture skyline set, however here it's done on a much larger scale. I'd like to show you everything this set has to offer, starting from the top and closing at the bottom. Here we get the torch. It's constructed very nicely and I love the way the flame looks, almost as if it's actually on fire. On the side, we can see an observation deck. It mimics the LEGO Movie 2 trailers perfectly, but on top of it, Emmet and Lucy are enjoying the horrific sight of Bricksburg. Emmet is a laid-back kind of character, and Lucy's doing her best to convince him that everything is not awesome. Now I will get into detail of all of the minifigs at the end of the review. However, you know, the minifigs are usually the most boring part of any LEGO set, and so I like to save the most boring stuff for last. Coming down the stairs, we see a resting area with a miniature Vestas wind turbine, which is the perfect LEGO set. Please take a moment to pause my video and click subscribe to find out why I think it's the perfect LEGO set. The blades here have actual airfoils, meaning that if you blow on them, they will spin. Going down the stairs even more, we can see the chains and observe the Batman's area. He's an awesome minifigure and I'll just look at him closely in just a bit. The room does get a few tools, such as a crowbar, a wrench, and a fire extinguisher, which is an essential part of surviving in an apocalyptic world. We can also see an air tank and his storage chest. The chest isn't attached in any way, shape, or form, but personally, I really don't have an issue with that. Just a floor down, we see the remains of a bat vehicle, and a nice little license plate printed on a sticker with the phrase Batitude. This signifies Batman's positive, upbeat kinda attitude. Another floor down, a basketball hoop is represented with a barbed wire element. I really like that because the events of Taco Tuesday have really toughened everyone up, and so this is common practice to see a barbed wire used as the basketball hoop. There is also a pretty nice roof here that's kind of falling apart. I'm a huge fan of anything built meant to look in a disastrous way, like it's falling apart, or anything that comes in the aftermath of a huge earthquake or something like that. What you just saw was the entire Statue of Liberty's right arm. Now I'd like to show you this set from the front. You get this really nice face and the lips are done in a very good manner. Absolutely love the eyelids. They are represented by the newly introduced sand green sausages. I just faint whenever we get new pieces, and that's why I love this so much. On top of the eyelids, we can see an observation deck. The guardrails can flip down so we can get a better view of what's inside. You'll just find a telescope and a map. Nothing special, unfortunately, but that really doesn't bother me, as it's not really meant to be a playset. The top of the statue's head is just awesome. The way the rubber pieces are used is spot on, and I like the green shield here. And the shield piece was actually used in the castle themes and the Next to Night's theme a while back, so I like that they're reintroducing some shield pieces in creative ways. The ears are pretty cool too. They're essentially just 2x2 round bricks with a long axle in the middle, keeping them together. These pillars can swing up and down. It's not practical or functional in any way, but it's a cool quirk nonetheless. The back is just covered by this little structure, which can, you know, swing up and down. I don't really like it, but it covers the LEGO Technic elements. We observed the Statue of Liberty pretty much to the fullest extent possible. Now let's take a closer look at the set as a whole, and all the little rooms. We get a flat roof with a couch, and on the couch there is a "Where are my pants?" guy sitting on top of it. Technically, he isn't supposed to go there, but I just put him there because the instructions never specifically stated where to put all the minifigures. The instructions, by the way, do have LEGO Life app integration. You just basically scan a QR code and it'll give you digital instructions if you don't like flipping through something super thick. Personally, I really love the instructions because I can get away from screens finally, and as me who has to edit, you know, these videos and sit down in front of computers all day, I like having that freedom. This roof is the chassis of an automobile because we can see one headlight and a license plate over here. Moreover, on the sides there is a megaphone and a decommissioned, destroyed robot with hair on the top. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe this is a reference to one of the Terminator movies, simply because I remember when the cyborg burned, revealing his metal endoskeleton. part of his hair was still visible. And so I remember that scene very well, and that's why I think it's a reference to that movie. The roof can take off very easily, and as you can see, everything here is attached in a modular manner. This really could be anyone's room, but I believe it's Emmet's apartment. There is a bed on the inside with a pillow showing the word relic. There are also pictures here showing the Unikitty and Emmet. Here is the dashboard of Emmet's rocket house. It's a pretty cool reference to the newly available set. Personally, just please get the set. It resembles classic Lego, and you can rebuild it into the other rocket house. I really like that because it teaches kids to rebuild and make it into something else. And you know, I do have a discount for you. If you use coupons for brands, you can get it for about 20% less. Please use coupons for brands, as it does help support my channel and help my channel grow to deliver all of these daily videos. We also do get a couple of mailboxes, both of which can be accessed from the front. The top one includes an air horn, loudspeaker, or something like that. I really don't know. The bottom mailbox gets a tiny green sci-fi gun. Frankly, I'm not even sure what it is. On this floor, we can observe a couple of messy things, from the weird rich thing to the metal wooden fence. There is really nothing special here. The really good, juicy stuff comes after we take this roof. In the right section, we get a dental office. There is a water flosser here and a chair for the patients. We also see two skulls showing off the terrible effects of eating too much sugar and not brushing your teeth. On the outside of a dental office, we can see shears on the top. This isn't a hair salon, it's just a dental office. It's very inaccurate, and I wish Lego put a toothbrush here or something like that to make it more appropriate for this location. We can also see a couple of newspapers to distract you from the fear of the dentist, and a couple of drain pipes. Over on the left section, we can see an armor shop. There is a decommissioned robot here and a couple of helmets. This time, the outside decor is appropriate due to the sticker showing armor pieces. On the left, we do get a couple of spikes, as well as a multicolored fence and a light. Everything here is pretty boring except the Coffee Unchained sign. The wheel can freely spin, but that's not all. Remember how in the first Lego movie, Emmet said his favorite restaurant is any chain restaurant?
Wait, what's your favorite restaurant?
Any chain restaurant.
Well, here, Emmet has to go to Coffee Unchained. Also, in an apocalyptic world, it's very common for stuff to get chained up. Now you can understand why I like this sign so much. On the inside, we can see the amazing coffee shop. This is my favorite interior of all the rooms in this set. I feel like Lego put the most amount of time and effort into this one room. There are chairs and resting areas for all the customers, as well as a nice little poster. Standing behind Larry the Barista are two coffee machines, and on the right we can see that he still charges $37 for an overpriced coffee. And on the left we get another coffee machine. Now on the counter, specifically on the left side of the counter, we can see that rats have infested his place. And there is also a coffee standing on top of the counter. That's it for the coffee shop, but over on the left hand side of the whole structure, we can see the super secret police. I just love this sticker because clearly the station is wide open, and there are a couple of siren lights as well as a jail-like door. If we turn this water drain pipe to the left, Bad Cop will kick the chair. Unfortunately, this play feature doesn't work well due to the walls blocking its flight path. On the inside, there is also a wanted Harley Quinn paper, but you know, nothing much. The inside of a jail cell or the police station is very, very boring, and I really wish Lego put a lot more effort, kind of like how they did in the coffee shop. But you know, it's really meant to be a presentation from the outside, so it doesn't really bug me that much. On the right of the whole structure, there is a green platform, which the statue is holding. It's got quite a few characteristics, like this ladder, which has a paddle and a lance at its railings. Also this weird fence piece with something sticking out of it, as well as human fingers from the statue. Personally, I don't understand why the statue has human fingers instead of minifigure claw-like hands. It could be explained that Finn built it, and because he's a human, it represents the human world. But personally, I think that kids, especially those his age, would consider that anything made out of Lego representing Lego people, and anything that's especially a statue which is out of the ordinary scale, small or big, should have claw hands like the minifigures do. It's not really a big deal, but it's definitely something you should know. Under the green platform, we can observe Chainsaw Dave's house. He used to be this chill, laid-back kind of surfer guy. But the apocalyptic world has significantly toughened him up. On the left, there are a couple of surfboards with stickers as well as a controlled fire. And over on the back, we can see his destroyed van. This is one of those additions that really helps establish the scene, and I do love that destroyed van. I feel like it reminds me of a set, a LEGO Creator set or a LEGO City set, and I feel like I've seen the overall structure of the van at some point or another in my lifetime of building LEGO. On the right side, there is a mop and a fish, which probably resembles a sponge. There is also a hidden trap door here. If you open it, you will find a robotic arm there and a fried egg. I think the egg is fried because it's a very hot desert. The back of the box is really deep and dark in my opinion. It's not meant for kids, 7-year-old kids, 8-year-old kids, but it could be easily excused by the fact that the box has a stamp written 16+ on it. This set is meant to be built by teenagers, not children, and as a teenager, I really like all the dark references made here. First thing you see is a broken down ice cream truck. When I was mentioning that it's dark, I meant that you can see the skeleton here, where the wheel is supposed to be. It's implied that the truck ran over the pedestrian and hit a pipe, which is still leaking water to this day, and I'm surprised that the whole area isn't flooded. In my opinion, the truck is cleverly detailed, and this little scene is one of my favorites in this entire set because of the way it conveys the apocalyptic message. And on the top of the truck, we do get a couple of drain pipes. On the right-hand side, we get the kitchen. I have placed Green Lantern in there. The kitchen is very cool. It has a hot dog with a spear instead of a sausage. The sink contains a yellow crystals. I love crystals. LEGO should make it an extra crystal pack. The yellow crystal is supposed to signify the dirty dishes. Moving to the left, we can observe the oven. Inside there is a robotic leg, and on top of there is a frying pan with an egg. I love these egg pieces. They're something I haven't seen in a while, and I'd love to get more of those pieces. We can also see mustard and ketchup on the left, as well as a giant hamburger with a lance poked through it. That hamburger looks so good. Sometimes I just want to temporarily shrink down to minifigure scale and become a minifigure so I can eat the hamburger. If we take off the top, a gym is revealed, and the first thing you see is a bench press. It also has some weights which are attached to a broom piece. These kind of weird and unconventional building techniques are very nice to see. We can also observe one of my favorite parts of the gym, which is the punching bag. It's got one eye, so it's almost like it's alive, and the bottom half is a yellow 2x2 round spiky brick. I adore these pieces, and I honestly want more sets to use them. From the outside, the gym building isn't anything special. Turning the whole building to the right bookends the whole review, and if you remember, I started right here. Please take one last glance at the set, look at the overall shape, and most importantly, the smaller builds, which I haven't touched on much. For example, the loudspeaker, the resting area, the guiding signs, every little build. As I promised you, I would look at the minifigures, and let's look at them right now. First minifigure we see is Emmet. He's still as positive and perky as ever, but you know, his leg printing isn't anything new, nor his torso pieces, and I believe there is nothing new with Emmet as a whole. With Lucy, you do get something new for 2019, but not to this set. You can see her hair mold mixed with these red sunglasses, and I do kind of like that because it brings something new to the table. Now Batman, he's my favorite figure out of all of them. He gets this really cool torso armor piece, and I just absolutely love it. I believe it's only new to this set. I mean, look at it. It's like wheels on the top for shoulder pieces. It's just awesome. If you look at Harley Quinn, I mean, she's cool. She does get a couple of new prints. I mean, her face isn't adorable by any means, but if you take off her hairpiece and look at it, I mean, that's adorable. So you can buy this set or any other set with Harley Quinn in it with this hairpiece, make like a little adorable girl minifigure. Next up is Surfer Dave, but he now goes by the gnarly name of Chainsaw Dave. I mean, these sketchy Duplo aliens have wiped out any opportunity for him to surf, and so he must become something else like Chainsaw Dave. Mohawk is just as prickly as she looks. Her right arm is red, her left arm is yellow. It's a pretty cool combination. But you know, I don't think anything special is on her, maybe except the torso pieces and the leg print. But the face, I feel like I've seen it before somewhere. Green Lantern. We've definitely seen this minifigure before in like the superhero themes or something. But, you know, honestly, I do like getting a ton of minifigures in this set because, I mean, it's just a great donor, really. If you haven't been building much with LEGO lately, just get this set and you'll be satisfied for life. Next up is Larry the Barista, probably my favorite minifigure out of all of them, even overpowering Batman, simply because all of his printings are new. I mean, he gets a mohawk, he gets chest armor, he's perfect, but he's the toughened up version of the Larry the Barista. He used to be kind of this laid back, kind of chill guy, but he can still charge $37 for overpriced coffee, so he's good. Next up is Fuse. I'm not even sure where I've seen him before, probably a new character to LEGO Movie 2. But I do like his sort of mask where he has to weld, like put two pieces of metal together, and sort of it protects his eyes. I really like that piece. I would get this set just to get this piece, or get any other set that gets like a welding mask, so I can have it. Now next up is Scribble Cop. He's a pretty cool guy. He also has a really cool facial print in the back of his head, and I just really love that even the good cop has, you know, toughened up. He's kind of this sad guy, and even Benny toughened up, but we unfortunately don't see Benny here. But still, you know, good cop has a frown on his face. Coming in at number 11, we get the Where Are My Pants guy. I just love seeing that all of these sort of side characters appear in this set. Personally, I would just get this set for the minifigures alone. And you know, of course, he does get the underwear, the torso printing. I feel like it's new. These are really cool torso printings everywhere. And finally, last but certainly not least, we get Roxy. She might be a new character to the LEGO Movie 2 cast. I mean, she has just one shoulder piece and a hair piece, which certainly isn't new, but her torso piece is new to this set. Also, let's take a look at the minifigures in general. Just take a look at them from the front. And the back, revealing their alternate faces. I wouldn't call the set the perfect LEGO set like the Vestas Wind Turbine. It does have some pros and cons. For the pros, it looks spectacular, it's abundant with Easter eggs and references, it's also a fun building experience, there is a nice bad cop chair play feature, and good value for money. Cons. It can take one up to 10 hours of building if he or she didn't have any previous LEGO building experience. It's just a little too heavy, personally too heavy for me. I must be very careful when carrying it. If you just trip and fall, everything's really loose, it's just gonna come off. Please be careful. This set also lacks play features. The only good play feature I can find in this set is the bad cop chair thing, and other than that, it's basically nothing. I mean, I can't move this, I can't do anything. I hope you enjoyed looking at the set with me and me reviewing it. Please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. The more likes we can get, the higher chance of me standing out in the YouTube algorithm I will have. Also, please don't forget to comment. I accept any positive or negative feedback as long as it's honest. I really want to improve on my reviewing skills. And please comment what you think of this set. Will you be buying it? And do you think it's worth the money? This is your Bring Sales here, and I will see you in the next one.